they got the plays when they needed them. It looks like we've got Hiss ready to come in for some interviews. Admirable, good job. Here he is. He's the man himself, Hiss.
Let's commence the interviews. I suppose we have to unmute him as well, or has he muted himself?
Hey, he's muted himself. He's being a wise guy. There he is. Hey, how's it going?
Good, thank you. Brilliant.
You talking to me?
I'm talking to you.
He's talking to me. Look at this knucklehead.
Ice, we just witnessed a bit of a collapse there from the last resort. What's the mood like in Mumble right now?
Probably happier than TCM's Mumble.
Ooh, you think you're the moral victors here? You lost the match, but you've got heart.
We lost it fair and square, but I think I would have preferred to play that whole game on our Mumble, let's put it that way.
Pinpoint for me, because, I wasn't really paying attention. Why did you lose?
Why did we lose? I think we just fell behind on the last map, and obviously that last map was their pick. We haven't practiced or played Badlands, as far as I know, for a little while. So we were kind of happier that it was that than Viaduct, in truth be known. But we just fell behind, and we were having to resort to sort of sloppy and uncoordinated plays, but try and make something happen. And to be fair to them, they positioned really well. They made it very, very difficult by obviously pinning us on last and forcing us to come forward, which is exactly what I would have done. So I don't really blame them. So well played to them.
How did that? Oh, go ahead, Beasly.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about how did you think that your performance was as a player on that last map compared to Snakewater, where you actually did a lot of work. You did a lot of stuff for your team, and you really helped out with that victory there. And do you think that you had as big of an influence on your team on Badlands?
Probably not. We didn't have as big of an influence, but I think the stats are a little bit inflated because there's a lot of we kind of laugh about it a little bit where War just spams stickies through chokes, like charging it up, hitting people 50, 50, 50, 50, just to buff his stats. But to be fair to him, he played well, but I'm not too concerned about my own performance. I'm more concerned about how we played as a team, and obviously it wasn't good enough. So.
Right. It's funny that you mentioned Ward sitting in the choke and spamming the stickies in, because we talked about that, Admirable and I. On the first map process, it looked like he was actually getting very close in there and just, shooting at you guys. And you guys weren't really capitalizing on his poor positioning, as he was the only one in the choke. But then you turned it around on Snakewater, and it looked like you had noticed exactly what he was doing, and you got in his face and just shut him down. And that was, I think, a key to victory for you guys. Do you feel the same way?
Probably. I mean, we was aware of it on process as well, but and we know he likes to snipe around with his sticks and stuff and just put what we would call useless damage out. But he's strong in the interplays as well, but he does do some sort of useless stuff. But we didn't want to go too. We were careful in case we made mistakes and we overextended. And actually, Snakewater was probably even sloppier than process was, but. With all the drops and things like that I probably dragged Alari into, so I wasn't so happy with my own performance in Snake. It kind of felt like I had a lot to focus on, and in the process I was missing out on stupid things like snipers or just spam, like really good coordinated spam from both their soldiers. So I was too busy trying to obviously pull the team through and obviously push with a lot of aggression that I kind of made other mistakes, which meant that Alari was forced or dropped a lot actually on that map.
You're going to take responsibility for his drops just like that. You're just like the best demo man ever.
This is a beautiful man right here.
One thing I want to ask
to be
is...
fair, I did drag them around a lot. And to be honest, I probably cost my team a lot in some situations.
We forgive you, man.
Kick yourself
they may
up.
not.
We forgive you. That's right. You can't kick yourself about stuff like that.
What was
but you know what? We did... Admirable.
Hey, step back.
I'm talking here.
Step back.
I am talking here.
Crazy
all right. I'll give it to you. You can talk. That was a bad word. But
I'm a bad man.
Admirable has the floor.
All right. Now, I was just wondering, what was the deal with Kalyo and Nadir seem to be switching up the roles there? The old roamer pocket duties. What was that all about? Why did you decide to do that?
I was just concerned about Nadir giving away some easy kills on the flanks and stuff, and we just wanted to make that a bit more solid because we think they tried to exploit it a bit more, and I think they did. They did try, and in some cases, especially on Snakewater, they did manage to get through, and it caused us a bit of trouble. You probably saw when we pushed fourth once, they came through PC and they got 3 picks there, and we ended up collapsing from that coming through. But we were just trying to shore up the flanks. Really, it's no disrespect in the day. It's just that I haven't felt like we've had time to really help him a lot this season, because obviously we were like 3 weeks in with a roster of like, or this 6 confirmed 3 weeks into the season, and we got quite busy personalised. So we struggled to really give him the help and support he needs to help him like progress. So we wanted to put him like on pocket to try and give him the extra heals and I don't know, just help move him around the map a bit more fluidly.
But like, you say it was no disrespect to him, but you know, you're basically saying he's not good enough to roam. And then what I don't get
think
is
so.
like,
I think it's just that we knew it was important that we didn't give away cheap kills, and I think to his own admission, he did that a few times, and that includes Rake. You'll notice Rake switch role as well, because we were trying to play Kyler on pocket most of the season. So, and Rake actually benefited a lot from that. He performed pretty well.
what I don't get is as well, like, it's not just, sure, you've got a more experienced roamer than in the form of Kaleo, but like, he was doing a good job as pocket man. He mightn't have been the best pocket in the league, but he put in a lot of solid performances where he put out a lot of damage, and the Deer didn't live up to those stats today. I know I always give him a hard time, but
yeah, but you got to pick players that we knew he wasn't
in
having his best
hindsight,
day.
though, are you happy with that decision?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I trusted Nadir to do the job on pocket, so you could flip it the other way and say, well, it's not really a discredit to him. It's more of it's also a compliment, because I trusted him to do that role. I know I trust my players to play wherever they need to play, and I don't regret it, because we had some good results before and we were getting stronger, like against Epsilon. Although I know it's a bit cliche, it's PCW and they were without Mike as well, but 2 rounds off the Viaduct, and we were expecting obviously TCM to pick Viaduct against us, because we absolutely despise the map and we get beaten on it by everybody. But we went 2-3 on that with this switch. So I mean, you can analyze it all you want, but at the end of the day, sometimes you just don't have that performance, and Nadir didn't feel like he was having his best day. We tried to pick him up and back him, even for the last map when he was feeling sort of low, and at the end of if he couldn't deliver, then he couldn't. But we're a team and we'll take it together. So
you've managed to stand up to my grilling pretty well. I will ask you though, as the playoff proceeds, do you see TCM making it past the next round? Do they have what it takes to beat Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory?
I think it may be a bit much, just for the fact that I think Byte will struggle to control their match win ability. Like you can't always play by like a rule book or general plays when it comes to players like Nox, Zebo, and Cadus and stuff like that. It's just sometimes magic just happens, and you can't have a set structure to deal with it or an on the fly call. So I think they'll struggle, but you never know. I think they beat them tonight in both their PCWs, so got a chance, haven't they?
Yeah, Beasly, sorry for interrupting you there, buddy. You know, you got
Oh,
some
don't
questions?
worry about it. It's okay. It's okay. Do I sound like I'm upset with you? Could I be upset with you?
Crying into your
There ain't
juice box there.
I actually, you know what? I got another juice box. I haven't opened that one yet. I should open that. But first, you know, we've been asking this a lot of questions. We just got to turn it around, though. This is a question for the both of you, and it's going to lead into Byte's series of questions. How did you feel about being backcapped by a heavy hiss? And how did you feel about being the team to backcap with a heavy Byte?
And a
Hiss,
sniper.
start first.
Sorry,
sniper
can you
too.
just refresh my memory, because things are a bit of a blur now.
Too.
Drozo, you
Drozo,
can
could
inform
you
him
sneak
as to
in
what
here?
happened. You were there.
Well, they basically tried to push out because they didn't have enough time, and Forsaken and I just went from main, uncontested, and kept it.
It was beautiful. I loved it. But now, Byte.
Oh no, yeah, I know what you mean. Sorry.
Oh, the heavy backcap. It was something else. It was something to see. And you never, ever get to see that. But, Byte.
To be fair to them, it's only because
You
they didn't
killed
have
them.
enough time to walk. Yeah, they were running out of time. They didn't have a choice.
And
more
I think
time.
I think there were crits in point, which meant
That's
it was
right.
hard to stack as well. So we were fucked. To put it that rudely, I suppose.
No, yeah. I know. There was nothing you guys could do. It was a funny thing to watch, you know, from the perspective of the stream. But now, Byte, we got to talk to you. You won your PCWs tonight. You won, I think, both of them, like Hiss pointed out before, against Willy Wonka's tonight. And they are the next team that you face up against. Are you guys going to poop on the pancakes? I don't know. We saw you poop on them tonight. Everybody on your team streams just about. Cadus was streaming it too. It was some good stuff to watch. But they didn't have Nox, I believe, tonight. Do you think
yeah.
that's going to be a bigger factor when you play them in the official match?
Of course it is. Like, Nox is the brain be fair, for that team. Like, they all have a brain, obviously, but Nox is the brain. He controls everything. He knows what's going to happen. And I don't know if they were playing seriously today or just struggling genuinely, but it's quite obvious that they weren't at their full height because, yeah, Nox just really clever. He knows the game really well. That simple. They missed it. So I think with Nox, it's going to be quite difficult to tackle because, as Hiss correctly said, you can have set strats, rules, positions, all this, but if someone can do some magic, sometimes you can't cater for it. So, and with the players that are in my team, I still feel they're learning, like to be the best, not like learning in Prem, but learning to be the best against the top. And all the players in Willy Wonka's, probably 5 of them are, I would say, top 5 in Europe of their own class. So, it's quite difficult to try and defeat that.
Right. So does that mean that you're going into this match with a kind of on the back foot, or are you going into this with the idea in your head that you're going to 5-0 them? Because you started off these maps with against TLR tonight. You started them off pretty slowly, but it seems like you guys methodically picked apart the way that they were playing, and you just came back really strong. Is that kind of the way you want to go into this match against Cadis and Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory?
I think we just have to keep reminding each other what to do against this team and how to play it slightly differently, and just go by what we know and then hope for the best. If that doesn't work, as long as we don't rush things, sometimes I've got a tendency to rush things. Sometimes calls aren't listened because they're questioned, blah, 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 all of this. As long as we can iron them out, then we have our chance, because we came close against them, in the pre-playoffs, 4-2, 4-3. It wasn't that far off. And process could have been a completely different story if, we didn't rush it. So,
and if we weren't 4-0 down from the beginning as well.
Yeah, obviously we can see too many. So we'll go in with a pinch of salt, thinking that, we'll try our best and see what happens. As for where we've ended up, forever third, obviously. So that's the main thing. And secondly,
well said.
And forever fourth.
And secondly, I can. That's like the minimum result I would have liked with this team is third. So I'm actually happy now. So whatever going forward is a bonus, really. Which just means more money and different kit, hardware. Other than that, so yeah, that's how we'll go into it.
Like you're saying, maybe I'm reading between the lines here, but you're saying, on paper, your roster is slightly outclassed. Do you have any aces up your sleeve? Some special tactics, a few gimmicks, maybe, to try and unsettle Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory? You're just going in with pretty much the same game plan. You're going to try and play solve and make fewer mistakes than you did the last time.
I think it depends on the map. I know that, to be fair, Forsaken Droso have improved a hell of a lot in certain departments of their own class, a lot, and it's helping. So I don't know. It depends how much time we have until that playoff, because I'm tired and stressed, and it's just taking too much time out of my life. So I don't know how much time I'm going to put in just to come up with something, just to try and beat these guys. Because I think we could if we really, 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 really wanted to, but it depends how much effort others put in as well to do so.
Well, let me take you back tonight, just sort of in a high-level view. You picked up the first map, lost the second, had a bit of a landslide there towards the end of Snake War.
Yeah.
What was the atmosphere like at Mumble? What did you say to your guys to get them back in the game and take that Badlands victory?
Well, I was really annoyed because we had a chance right at the very end, maybe to make a comeback with 2.5 minutes. I was calling Joseph to try and stay on the point and help the soldiers, but then I got really annoyed because he didn't. And then it was quite subdued, the mood. But before that, we knew that they were really good on Snake, and to be fair, they deserved to win Snake outright. They clearly knew what they were doing on middle, and after that, it was dictating the pushes on last. The reason we got 2 rounds because they failed their pushes on last. That was the only reason. It wasn't because we won mid convincingly. So yeah. I mean, our mood was just subdued, and we just reset and took it from there. We weren't scared of them for the third map. We just knew that had to do our same stuff that we did on process, as long as everyone's in their position, know what they're doing, and countering whatever's going to happen to War, because normally War's the guy who gets picked off the most. So
there was sort of one point there where it was a close game on Snake War. I'm not going to beat on you for this, but there was a push out from your lobby towards second, and War got dropped. And I was going to bring that into the last game. We were getting a lot of stick for your drops, and you trying to concentrate on leading the team and not being able to micromanage everybody. How did you feel that had progressed from the last game to this game, like your own game? Like how much balance you can get between focusing on your own mechanics and controlling the team?
Honestly, like my performance is probably poop compared to what it could be, because I just can't do as much as I could when I was younger, and it's really hard to maintain my class and trying to maybe I shouldn't microcontrol like people say. But someone has, like I said, I was saying in the last interview, someone has to try and take that heave and help others. And I'll obviously suffer for it because people will say I'm shit or whatever. I don't really care because I know I can play a good game if I really want to. I mean, this is no disrespect to other medics. So, for example, if you took Raymond or Two Nuts, of course I'm going to play much better because Numlock could call, Nox can call for me. It'd be so much easier, you know. I can focus on my own class. I can focus. I can, surf everything. I can just literally do everything for my own class. But I can't do that when I'm trying to call for the team. And trying to help them out in their own class. So I end up suffering in my class for them, but that's what I knew that, and I don't mind doing that as long as 2 or 3 of them get out of this being really good, then it's good.
Dare I ask, what does the future hold for this TCM roster? You know, you're giving me mixed messages here. You're saying you're trying to teach these guys. Are you in for the long haul? Then you're saying, you know, you're tired, you're burned out. Is this going to be the last season you'll play? Will you take a season out? What's going to happen come January 2014? Any idea?
Is that the team or me?
Both.
The team would continue, to be honest, and they should, because they have improved a hell of a lot. I don't care what anyone says. I know they've improved a lot just by individually playing with them and healing them. I know their position and thought, like game thought, and all this. It's just really good. They've improved, and I'm sure Droso and co would agree that they've benefited. But
yeah, I think you've been a great teacher, but like sometimes you're just a bit
Nazi
over the top.
Yeah. I think that's my thing. That's my bad thing about me. I'm an unempathetic leader, as it were. So I can lead, but I'm not very empathetic. And no, but like in terms of me, I genuinely don't know at the moment. Depends what happens. Work's getting hectic, and I'm moving up in work. So I mean, the plan is not to leave at the moment. I've got no plans to leave at the moment, so I haven't thought about it really. What I want to do.
If you're moving up in work, that means you can delegate more. You know, play TF2 at work. You got this, man.
Yeah, but we'll see how it goes. See if I get like a bit of a reprieve from work, and it's just not as stressful. Because I'm old, I'm fossil, and this is quite stressful for me because I have to come back from work, literally leave on time just to get back to play PCWs, and it's not easy work like what I'm doing. So it does have an effect, and I get more stressed, more rage, and then the guys have to try and deal with it. And I think the guys do deal with me really, really well. Like, you know, because there's a lot of players who can't. Like, I know a load of Finns can't, for example. I know a lot of other players that can't. I know that, and I don't blame them because I'm quite heavy as a leader.
Yeah.
So,
well, like,
that's it.
I know you get a lot of flack from the community, and I have a love-hate relationship with you, but it's been interesting to hear your side of this sort of latest venture from you with this team. It's been something that's definitely something that's definitely kept the Premiership competitive this season. So I thank you for that. But before this turns into bite, this is your life. We will wrap things up.
Please no.
And I'll give you guys a chance to shout out your teams. Heist is always on point with this. He knows who his sponsors are and stuff. Take it away.
Yeah, before I shout out sponsors, I just want to say, like, obviously I'm pretty pleased for the guys that for the first time have finished in like at least the top 4 and made the playoffs. Like Kyler and Cowho, especially people that have been around for quite some time and like not achieved that in and around Prem, and that would write those players off. So in some way, I think we're kind of a similar sort of team, both TCM and ourselves. But I just thought I'd mention that because that's something that we're pretty happy with. But yeah,
you're like a young bite. I could see that. Yeah, you know, you're like a ruthless leader. But
from a sponsor point of view, anyway, yeah, obviously thanks to TLR for their support for another season, and obviously Scratchwiz, Plexter again, and Dino PC.
Right, would you like to thank TCM?
I'd like to thank TCM. I just like to thank the guys in the team just for being patient and dealing with me, because obviously I'm quite heavy, so they've done really well and they've learned a lot, and we've reached a good result. For us, third, I don't really care, forever third, blah blah blah, but with the players, they've reached third. And to be fair, like I said, and credit and shout out to them, I think wouldn't have put TLR initially in top 4 just because they had such a late roster change, and it's not easy. But they've managed to reach top 4 and obviously contend with us for 3rd spot, like really well. So
It was a great game anyway, so well played.
So
and
shout out to them
congratulations
as well.
to
Well
you
played to you,
guys.
Steve. Great game.
I'm gonna lose it, Adler. Lose it to my old buddy.
Wow.
Anyway, that's it. Well, yeah, shout out to my
Brozo.
team.
Yeah.
GG, and thank
Shout
you for
out to
casting.
Brozo.
Thank you.
Beasly, play us out here.
What the hell do you want me to say?
People want to hear the accent.
maybe something from Sopranos. I don't know.
Something from The Sopranos. Did you actually watch that show?
No,
Did you see how that show ended?
no, sir, I did not.
All right, well, let me tell you how that show ended.
Oh, no, spoilers. Spoilers.
No. Oh yeah, shout out to Moogle, obviously. Just so you know.
All right, so they were sitting in a restaurant, right, in New York.
Where?
And then the whole show went black. That was it. That's how the show ended. So if you want me to do that, I can do that. But it's not going to be fun for everybody involved.
Are you,
know
going
what
to
I'm
go
talking
black?
about? No, I'm not. Oh, come on, Admirable. Why do you got to talk like that? This guy,
Just an uncouth Irishman.
he's just being mean.
Gonna derail your
He's just
own
being-
final segment.
All right,
Just keep
for
talking
real
over
though,
you.
for really real though, right? See what you made me do there? It's what you said. That's why I said. See, for real. Now, the match was great. Everybody had a great time. Everybody was in here. The people in this stream chat, they was having a great time. I think that we've still got a couple of 100 people watching this. So if you're in there, let me get a booyah in the stream chat. 291 booyahs better come right now. And if I don't see them, I'm going to be very upset.
Are you
You
upset?
know, we can't.
Booyah!
I'm very upset right now. There we go. The booyah is coming in from the mumble. That's great. I love to hear it. I'd love to see it. And you know what? I say this 1.5 million times. We can't have these casts without the people who watch the casts. And thank you very much for tuning in and seeing some great playoff action. The next match we're going to have, I believe, is TCM versus Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. We're not going to see any Epsilon action until after that match. And or even, am I right? Am I right with what I'm saying right now?
You're right.
Yes.
You're on the money.
Beautiful. I'm seeing all the booyahs too. I'm loving it. And so we're going to have a great time for that match too. We'll see who's in here to talk to you, chit-chat with you, and watch the match with you. Until then,